What's going on, Swoopers? Welcome back to another episode of Swoop Luke. Bit of a different episode today. I would do a Swoop update, but there's not really much happening besides that Trelaw sort of stuff. And I've read a good article on the Raw about Collingwood and where we are as a club sort of thing. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that, give you my thoughts, and as always, I would love to hear your thoughts. So let's run that intro, jump straight into it. Just before we do jump straight into it, of course, if you are new here, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell on our way to 1,500 subs, which would be huge for me. And if you're a returning swooper, welcome back. Thank you so much for rejoining me. As always as well, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Instagram, and follow me on TikTok. So now, let's get into the crux of this video. So recently I came across an article called "What's the Plan for the Future Collingwood" by the team at The Raw, which is an Australian sporting sort of website and stuff like that. And I really enjoyed it. It was very thought-provoking. And I'll link it down below. So thank you so much for looks like Les Zig wrote that. So thank you so much, Les, because that was a great read and obviously prompted this sort of video. So what I kind of really wanted to do was, 2020 Premiership season's over. Richmond are the premiers. Just kind of want to talk about that, talk about my feelings, what's going on with the club, what direction we're heading, our mess-ups along the way, and where I think we need to be at the moment. So Collingwood are a weird entity. We're touted as, or we are self-touted as, the biggest and best club in Australia. Maybe not the biggest at the moment, maybe not the best at the moment, but obviously huge Magpie army and stuff like that, and we've been there up at the top for so long. It's not really what I want to talk about. It's mainly that in the modern era, or just in the AFL / VFL, whatever you want to call it, in general. So we know we've been in 44 grand finals since the beginning of this club. Only winning 15, losing 27. That is what being a Collingwood supporter is at the moment. You can call it the Collingwoods, which everyone seems to do, even though they were buried after the 1990 grand final. You can call it whatever you want, because it's pretty much a lot of everything. Either list management, not being able to perform on the biggest day of the sporting calendar year for us, personnel, coaching, anything and everything. But what I really want to talk about was where Richmond were and where we are and where Richmond are now. And that's pretty much what, the main thing of this article by The Raw was, just talking about Richmond and their 10-year plan and stuff. So pretty much Richmond have won 3 of their last 4 years worth of grand finals. So 17, 19 and 20. Amazing. For them, not for us, but that's an amazing feat. It's a dynasty. And it's just, for them, it's great. For their supporters, it's great. Not so much us, but I think it stems a lot from just jealousy. Our hate stems from a lot of jealousy. We were up there in 2018, didn't get the job done. We were up there in 2010, obviously got the job done in the second week. Up there in 2011, didn't get the job done. 2002, 2003, didn't get the job done. Those 3 different occasions, 2002, 2003, with Mick Malthouse. We lose both of those. He says we need to rebuild. He gets us there, 7 or 8 years later, 2010, we win the second grand final after obviously that draw. 2000 and then that happens and you go, shit, this is a really good side, and we had a really good side. Just look at 2011. We absolutely smashed the competition. Only team we lost to all year 3 times was Geelong, obviously classic. But in 2011, the grand final, we had a chance to win. An injury happens to Geelong. A bit of, knife in the back with Malthouse. He doesn't make changes that he needs to make during the grand final. Hawkins comes of age and smashes us. We lose. Buckley takes over in 2012. We get up to final, and then it's all downhill from there. Kind of the same thing that happened in 2018. So we went from a premiership in 2010, getting really close in 2011, to then 2012 with Buckley, nothing, and he does a huge list overhaul. 2013 to 2017, we are absolutely shithouse. Bottom 10 side. I think we finished like 13th, 14th, somewhere crazy like that. Anyway, at the end of 2017, everyone says, you know what? We need to do a huge look at our medical department, our coaching, our players, and everything like this. A huge internal review. After that happens, heads roll and stuff like that. Things get changed around. 2018, we start playing a little bit better, more defensive. We've got a bit of dash, bit of flair with our forward line. We make a grand final. And, people say that we were one free kick away from winning that grand final. I haven't really talked about it a lot, but I'm not really going to get that much into it. But, we were 5 goals up in the grand final. Jordan De Goey does a very selfish thing. Doesn't man up on McGovern in that last 2.5 minutes. And then the rest is West Coast history. But for all intents and purposes, we got to a grand final in 2018. Then 2019 happens, and you go, okay, that's got to spur him on. 2018 was huge. We just lost. We are one of the teams to beat. We've got a great side. We add a couple guys during the off-season. We hope for an injury-free season. 2019 is a bit here and there. We versed the Giants in the prelim after just making the top 4 and scraping through to the prelim. We versed the Giants. We get done by less than a goal because we just can't get the scoreboard ticking, even though in that last quarter we had about 86-87% of the ball in our forward line. And then 2020 happens, and this year has just been absolutely nuts. It has been absolutely nuts. Up and down, up and down. Our best is that West Coast first final, and our worst that I've seen us play for probably 10 years is that Geelong final where we absolutely get smashed. And that's just typical Collingwood. I bring this up because we had 3 opportunities. Well, 2002, 2003. No, you know what? We had 3 opportunities to create dynasties. A Malthouse dynasty, a second Malthouse dynasty in 2010, 2011, and Buckley in 2012, and 2018, where we could have started a Buckley dynasty. Yes, we were a free kick away from a grand final win. But you think that would spur on the guys. 2019 ends flatly. 2020 ends like I haven't seen a season end for us in that sort of fashion in so long. Been absolutely ridiculous. And now we're here. 10 years ago, if you said to me Richmond would win 3 premierships, I go, get the hell out. Get out. Just walk out that door. Don't turn around. You're not welcome anymore. But look at them now. They said that they wanted 3 premierships by the end of their 10-year goal, and they've got it. And that's another thing that this article brings up, which I love, is Richmond set a goal for themselves 10 years ago. They said, in 10 years, we want to get our 13th premiership. Everyone laughed it off, but they had a goal. What's been Collingwood's goal? No one's come out and said, in 5 years, we want to win 2 premierships. In, 7 years, 10 years, we want to overtake Carlton and Essendon with amounts of premierships won and stuff like that. At the start of 2014, Gary Pert, then CEO, did come out and say, in 3 years' time, we not only want to compete for finals, but we want to win a premiership. And that would have taken us to the end of 2017, which we know 2018 took us to that top 4 and almost a grand final. So he was kind of right. But that was just, a thing that he just said as passing in an interview when talking about Buckley and extending his coaching and stuff like that. It wasn't a goal by the club. At the moment, we're in no man's land. There's this whole Treloar scenario going on. There's a lot of talk about culture, how they're not backing Treloar up or coming out and saying, you know what, yeah, we do want to get rid of him. You know what, no, we don't want to get rid of him. He's a required player. Supporters are mad. Supporters are absolutely mad. You see it in the comments. You see it on, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, everywhere. Supporters are absolutely furious that this is the way the club's handling it. Buckley said he wanted to be ruthless. And, I'm all for ruthlessness, but I'm all for transparency as well. And that's something that the club hasn't given us for a long time. Let's talk about that 2017 end-of-year review again. Since then, we lose Justin Longmuir. We lose Matthew Boyd as our defensive coach. 2 of our best defensive coaches that we've had. We lose them. Both to Fremantle. Now we're left with the same coaching staff around Buckley that we had prior to 2017. Does that mean that we're just in a 2013 to 2017 bubble again? Is that the football that we're going to be putting up? I know that they're going to be ruthless, and it's about time. We have been cowardly when it comes to trading, and have this, we don't want to give him away. We'll take your third, fourth round draft pick and really bad free agents and stuff like that. It's not so much about topping up the list with elite talent. It's about topping up the list with players that are going to boost your bottom four in a side. In your best 22, there's going to be 2 or 3 guys that aren't really there. You can't have a team of 22 absolute superstars. 1, 2, or 3 of them are going to be good, but not as good. You want to get those guys from good to really good. Obviously, they're not going to be as good as your A graders like Pendlebury and Sidebottom and stuff like that. But you want to, if the game comes down to it, it comes down to those last couple of players that you just need to elevate you a little bit. If we give up Treloar for a pick 5, that's ruthlessness. Yes, it's going to hurt the club. And look, if supporters saw that the club said, you know what, this is what's happening, X, Y, Z, but okay, that's why we're getting rid of Treloar, makes sense. What they're doing is leaving us in the dark. And not that we have a right, but we're paying members and stuff like that. We should know what's going on. Obviously not everything behind the scenes, but we should know what's going on. Especially about this Treloar stuff. We need to know where this club is going for the next 10 years. It's the start of the decade, 2020. By 2030, will we have 1, 2, or 3 premierships? Is there going to be another list rebuild? We're in Buckley's last year. Next year, does he get extended contract? Is there someone coming in for him? Lots of these things have to be answered by the start of next season. I want to see, and Eddie's been there since 1909, and I love what he's done to the club, how he's turned it around. But do we need fresh souls from, the top down? Do we need a new president to give us fresh views? And do we need a new coach? Or, do we need a new line coach or more better board members or something like that? Something needs to change, because I don't want to be the club that they were close in 2018, and I don't want to be the club that's like, and I did it myself on Instagram the other day, and a lot of people doing it. I don't want to be the club that just hangs our hat on, we stopped the Richmond 4-peat in 2018 when Mason Cox had that great game. Cool, but we didn't win the premiership either. Carlton do that a lot. You see Carlton fans do it. Dom sheet. That's the best thing that Carlton have done in 25 years, and it wasn't even their fucking team. I don't want to be that team. I want Jeff Walsh or Buckley or even Eddie or whoever to come out and say, you know what, by 2025, we're looking to have this, and this. This is going to be our core players. This is where we're going. We're going to be more attacking. We want to average 70 points in attack or something that's tangible. I don't want them just to say, you know what, by 2040, we'll have 1 or 2 premierships. I want something that is tangibly, you can tangibly see and tangibly measure. Saying that we're going to win premierships is intangible, but I'd like them even to say, by 2030, we'll have 1 or 2 premierships. That's the goal. That's the, call it, I don't know, the Collingwood way or something. Obviously not that. That was just off the top of my head. But call it, the Magpies Nest. By 2030, our Magpies Nest is going to be filled up with 2 more premierships. Or something that gives us a little bit of hope. Because at the moment, not only do we not have hope, we don't have direction. And you need direction when it comes to football clubs, and especially Collingwood. We have a loyal fan base. And they want to know what the hell is going on. Transparency, direction, Magpies Nest, by 2030, premierships, whatever it may be. We need that. We want that. We love the Pies, and we just want to see them succeed. But anyway, that's just been my thoughts. None of this was scripted, obviously, because I was jumping. But I'd love to know all of your thoughts down below. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets. And until next time, double shackers. I'll swoop you later.
Ooh la la.
So recently I came across oh my god.